Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. It's Mich here. If you're new and returning, I thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Today we're going to do a little bit more work in the Garden Story Junk Journal that I started a few weeks ago now. There is a few videos that I've posted. I'm not really sure. This might be the fourth or the fifth one. And there is a collaboration going on right now. I'm not actually part of the collaboration, but I loved the kit so much that I just thought I would play along and create a cute little journal that I can use throughout the spring and the summer to just write in and do little bits and bobs. But the project that we're going to do today, and as I said, I've not been following along, so if this project has already been done, it's purely a coincidence. But I thought we would make some little dangles, some little charms or pendants, medallions, whatever you want to call them. So here's an example of one here. And then another example is this one here that I've put onto a little bit of ribbon, a little bulb pin there, and dressed it up with a little dragonfly. I thought that was really sweet. And then another one just with a little charm, and the lighting in here is not very good, is it? On the little charm there, and then another one on this little tag setup here. So that's what I thought we would play at today. So I've made these little ones just with some plastic gift cards. Just going to set that where I don't get it all over the place. So I've just taken some plastic gift cards there. Before I continue though, I would like to apologize. I did get a comment recently, and over Easter, it didn't actually get up onto my onto the site. So I'm not really sure if YouTube, they have an algorithm, and if, I don't know, maybe certain words, it doesn't get posted, or maybe she took it down. But the comment started out with, this is a criticism, sorry. The way I always kind of feel is that if I'm going to leave a comment that starts with, this is a criticism, sorry, then maybe I shouldn't leave a comment, but that's just me. And the comment just said that I couldn't listen to your narrative. The ums and ahs are just irritating. So I do apologize if I do go or ah. It's really hard to ad-lib, when you're here sort of talking to yourself, and I'm trying to think ahead and do certain things, so my brain's working as well as my hands are starting to work. So I do apologize if it does get irritating, is all I want to say. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our plastic gift cards, and we're going to create those little charms, medallions, pendants, whatever you want to call them. So I basically just did a base coat with acrylic paint. So I just took a number of different paints that I had. I've got all sorts, and just made some backgrounds. In this one here, I just brushed it straight on. You can see there's a bit of texture there. If you want it really smooth, then just do really small, thin coats and do quite a few. You don't really have to do both sides. So that one there isn't done. This one here, and this one here, and this one here, as well as the one that I already did with that lovely shiny background. I absolutely love that. I did those with alcohol inks. You don't have to have alcohol inks. These are some Tim Holtz ones. I have the mixatives and the inks. So the Tim Holtz alcohol ink, the difference between just the normal ink and the mixative is the mixative generally sits on top and it's more metallic. It gives a bit of a metallic sheen. And that's how I achieved this result. So it looks kind of metallic-y. I just played with some greens and some of this teal one, and that's how I just played with it. You'll never get, I don't think you'll ever get the same result twice, but, and then I just blew it around with my little blower. You could do that with a straw, and I just had different effects. I like this because it looks like it's leathery. This one here just kind of looks, I don't know what, kind of metal, I guess. And this one is more of a flat one. So this one here, I didn't use the alcohol inks. I used alcohol markers. These are just cheap ones I got from Michael's, and I just basically colored it on, and then I used an alcohol, this was filled with alcohol, and I just squished it around with the brush. Before I did that though, I put a base coat of white acrylic paint. I daubed it on so that it has that textury, really rough kind of feel. And then I put the alcohol inks on top of that. So that's how I achieved that. This one here, I basically just did with acrylic paint. I just took my sponges and just played around until I achieved a result that I liked. With this one here, I mainly used just the white. I used a little bit of the cobalt turquoise. I believe I used a little bit of just the aqua green, which is the Artist Loft. So that's what I did. A little bit of the teal, and then I achieved at this kind of result. For this one here, I just took my unbleached titanium. I put some very thin coats so that there's not a lot of texture. And then I just took a bunch of my stamps, as you've seen me use before, with some Stays-On ink. And I gently put that on where it is a shiny surface. If you really press hard or, I don't know, put the pressure off to the side, you could cause a lot of blurring or smudging of it. And I didn't want that, so I just did a bit of background just with the Stays-On ink. And so that's where we went from just your plastic gift card. Also, you need to make sure it is plastic. There are gift cards that kind of feel like plastic, but it's more like a laminized cardboard or paper. So you do want it to be plastic. And then this one here, I just paint, like I said, I just painted that on. So once I had the backs of them done, then I just flipped them over to the side that I want to be the other side. And I glued on the little tags that were actually part of the DigiKit. So in the DigiKit, I think I have one here that I haven't cut up. I printed that off and I cut those little plants, the little tags off. I really didn't like the little tag hoop there. I'm not sure what, maybe just where it's like taped onto the wall. So I just cut around that. And so I've cut those out, and that's how I got those little ones. And then I glued them on with the Fabri-Tac. I haven't had a problem with these ones lifting off, but if you did, then you could reinforce it, or you could use something like an E6000, which is really good for metal and plastics and stuff. The other glue that I had is unique. This was from the fabric store, and it's supposed to be for rubber, leather, metal, glass, wood, just an all-purpose ultra grip adhesive. So I didn't use that. I just used the Fabri-Tac, and it seemed to work okay for me, but I'm not at all claiming that I'm an expert. So once I glued those down onto my background, then I basically just took my Liquitex glossy varnish, and I just put very thin coats of varnish over top of it. So that's where I had achieved this effect. So basically painted my card, then glued the little pieces down. Then I took my Liquitex and did a few coats. You do have to have a bit of patience. You want the coats to dry in between putting the coats on. I want to do some bigger ones. So this was part of the DigiKit too. So I'd like to do some bigger little things that I can dangle. And then I really liked this, and I thought it would be cute to do one that size as well, that I could hang off a tag or do something else with it. Once it's down and you've got your gloss on top of it, if you didn't have this, you could try some matte medium. If you didn't kind of like a glossy, you could put some varnish over top of it, or even some clear nail polish. This is what I generally use in my craft room. And then to get them off here, you're basically just going to cut it out. I tried, actually I haven't tried anything. I attempted a little bit with my Fiskars little X-Acto knife, but there's no way. Like, you basically have to cut it off. And when you cut it, you do end up with some rough edges. So I had a little bit of sand paper. And the thing to note about when you're going to sand the edges is you want to sand downwards. If you sand back and forth, you run the risk of pulling your image off a little bit if it's not completely tacked down. And this is where you're going to notice if there's edges that are raw, or that it's not, the glue's not adhered to the image. Before I put some of these images on, I did go around and distress the edge with a little bit of vintage photo, just to make it look a little bit more aged. And I didn't get quite close enough to that, so I can just, instead of spending a lot of time sanding, just cut it out. And once you're finished roughing it up and getting it quite nice, if you did decide that you wanted to put a bit more varnish around the sides or the edges, then you could do that. But I'm happy with that. You could continue sanding until you're happy. And then, because the edges of the card tend to be a little bit white, again, I would just take my vintage photo and my little dauber and just go along the edge just to make it not so stark white. And then you're almost done. You could, oops, again, you could put more varnish on if you like. Fix it up a bit. And you have the cutest little charm. So then for putting the hole into it, I do have a little hole punch. I think this is a jewelry punch that I picked up at Michael's. I also have a wee little hole punch itself, but I wasn't sure if that would, if I can find it, if that would go through. I never really tried. And you might want to just maybe put a little dot kind of where you'd like to have your hole. I'm not sure if this, oh yeah, it went through. I found that this went through a lot easier, but this hole was a little bit larger than that one. Okay, and then you can just put your ball pin on it, or however you want to hang it up. Hang it off something. Put a little charm with it, or like the other examples, put some ribbon. And you really have some cute little charms. So I just thought I would kind of bring that forward if you've not seen that before, or if you have, maybe remind you that you can make some cute little tags just with some plastic gift cards. So I'll work on some more of these later, and in my next video I'll show you one of the ones that other ones that I've done. So the other thing that I wanted to do, if we get that out of the way, I'll show you the one that I've actually put into my diary, or into my journal, and that was this one here. with the M. Actually, that's a Tim Holtz, and it's Moments, but I like it because it's Mich too. And then I just had a little bee for my mom, and I really loved that little tag. So I thought that was sweet. But the next thing I'd like to do is just do another page in the junk journal. I received my first postcard from Christine. I absolutely love it. I haven't been able to get to the post office the last few days because we've had a nor'easter here. So we've had a lot of really high winds and snow and freezing rain. Now there's nothing today, but the last couple days have been quite messy and I really didn't want to go out. But I absolutely love this, and I love that I've got my first King Charles stamp. In Canada here, we probably will get some King Charles stamps, but yeah, I thought that was special. So I want to put this in the junk journal. So what I did is I created just a little pockety thing with some scraps that I had. I thought I would start with this one. So this one here, again, all these papers are part of the kit. And I thought I would just, that fits good. I want to get that down if I can find my glue. I'm just using Elmer's glue. It usually works quite well on just paper on paper. And how are you guys doing? I'm really loving that you like my channel. And again, I apologize if I sometimes am irritating. When I was younger, well, you can probably tell if you do follow me, I have a bit of a stutter. And when I was in kindergarten and grade 1 and 2, I was in speech therapy. And I still stutter. So sometimes when I feel I'm going to stutter, I just, subconsciously stop and will not really know how to fill that gap. And so I'll say, So I do apologize. When I first started my channel, I was very awkward. I think I've improved. I've been trying to. So it can only get better, right? I then did this little journal card with some of the papers. Again, I just put it through the sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine, you could do some little hand stitching, or you could just, sometimes I think I have an example here on this card, on this little tag here that we did that little charm. That's really sweet. Just do some hand stitching. I don't know if you can see that. Just around the edges. It just gives it just a little something something. I did that a lot when I would toll paint. So in the toll painting, you do the little decorative faux stitching around on the wood. So then I have this other little piece. I thought maybe we'd stick down here. So we'll just do, I like the interactiveness. I like little pockets and things that pull up and pull out. So put that down. I did a little ruffle. So I took some of my scrap, just folded it and sewed it on the sewing machine. Oops. And then just made another little journal card that can tuck in there or tuck in there once that gets stuck down. And this was one of the parts of the DigiKit, and I thought that it would be cute to have this as a little tuck spot. So I thought if we just glue down those edges there and have that there. I'd like to, when I'm sort of finished with the kit, have little places where I can put some ephemera. So throughout the summer I could pull out a little image and stick it on something. And this is where I thought I would put my little daisy card, as I thought the little daisies on the barrel would really work with that. Gosh, I love that card. Thanks so much, Christine. So that's part of that. Okay, and then We could put that there, or not even put that there. We could wait. Oh, I know what we could do. We could just make that a little bit smaller. So just make it a bit shorter so that it's not covering my daisies up so much. Yeah, like that. Love it. So that's just another little page that easy enough to do for your little journal. And the last thing, I think, I always say the last thing, but the other thing I've added since we've last played in here was one of my good friends gave me a card, and I thought I would put that in. So I've put that in the, sort of in the middle. There were some flowers here, which I've put in my flower press because they were like dried flowers. So I'm going to see if I can press them and put them in the little vases. It was so cute. If I can't, then I have some sticker ones that I can put there, but I'm trying to salvage those ones. And yeah, so that's one of the things I've put in my journal so far. Before we go, lastly, I am in the process of working on a couple giveaways, as I just really love that my channel has grown and I have such good support. So if you watched my video of when I did the cover, I thought what I would do is put in probably other things, but to start with, I'm going to put in the things that you could use to make a cover like this. So I've got some onion skin paper that I printed off on. It's still on the backing, so it does need to be trimmed up. And then I have the one on tissue paper, so that's the print off. Some of the birdhouses, you will need to cut off the little bits there. Some daisies, a little butterfly, and then some of the flowers that were used, the little butterfly, some of the eyes. So the eyes, you would cut those out and use it to be the little window dome like I have in this one here. So I've thrown in some eyes and just some little flowers, little butterflies, a little saying, one of the little Tim Holtz saying, some stickers. So, and there'll be more in the little giveaway. I'm going to do a couple of these. So I've got two baskets started already. Live in the moment, embrace the journey. So I just wanted to let you know that I am working on a giveaway, and I will announce it. Probably not my next video. I'm hoping that my next video will be the Marguerite Miller Challenge after this. I'm hoping to get this one up this evening, and then the Marguerite Miller will go up on Sunday. But yeah, so thank you so much for all your support and kindness. And until we meet again, I do hope that you stay safe and well, and bye for now.